to like tech doctors or anything like that. It's like I really don't want to do that. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I have the patience enough to figure everything out, so it's not like it's any sort of hassle to try to figure it out. So
well,
I just may not be able to use this motherboard. I might just have to go back to the old motherboard and figure something else out.
well, in my case, I'm lucky that I have like a gaming PC and a laptop, and I have other methods of gaming. But there are people who are like just kind of like fucked. It's like, oh, well, guess what? I don't have this. It's like, like if your main PC is fucked up and you don't have any side hustle, like any alternate things. But yeah, man, that's one of the flaws of gaming on PC. If your console's fucked up and you have the warranty, you can like send it in to someone and they'll fix it for you. If your PC has an issue, you're basically like, well, shit, I gotta find out what's going on. Even if you take it to someone, you got to find out what's wrong with it before you take it there, because otherwise they're gonna do everything except fix the one thing you need to get fixed.
Yeah,
It's like, look, I need this done, and that's it. Don't be doing all this extra shit.
yeah.
Anyway, I guess we can get it started.
That sounds good. Yeah, and we are live with another episode of Project Console. Welcome anybody who either is gonna catch this live or gonna catch this re-upload. Today, this is episode 74. Let me figure out the episode 74. Failure is not an option. Before we get into our topics, I'd like my panelist member to introduce himself.
Yeah, this is Mr. Red Fox, owner proprietor of BS Busters. Last week we did not have a BS Busters because my gaming PC was having some issues, and right now I'm using my streaming PC. I'm not even sitting where I normally sit. I'm sitting in the other part of my basement where my
Yeah,
streaming PC is set up. Like everything is different. Everything is different right now.
yeah,
But aside from that, I feel fine.
yeah. Yep, and my name is Kenoshi Abominito. I did a solo cast last week. That went over. I thought fairly well.
Yeah.
But this week was last few weeks have been relatively interesting. Um,
Yeah.
Tears of the Kingdom came out.
Yeah.
Sold over 10 million
People lost their
copies.
minds.
Yeah,
People lost their
sold
minds about it.
over 10 million copies.
I think
Was
it's
it
12 now.
12 million copies in the
12
first
million
few
copies,
days,
yeah.
the
Yeah.
first week. So
Like
yeah,
2 or 3 days.
I
Yeah.
hate to tell you, classic Zelda fans, but I think this formula. I think for some people, it's sadly here for to stay. For other people, they're excited that that's here. So
They
it
can
came.
they can have it. Uh I played it. I beat it. Um it's better than Breath of the Wild. Um that's not really saying much though.
Oh, you actually went through it, huh? You went through the
Yeah.
entire thing.
I
Oh
powered
wow.
through it. Here's what I'll tell you about Tears of the Kingdom. It's better than Breath of the Wild, but if you're like me and you're like, man, I wish we had traditional dungeons. Nope. You still only have four real dungeons. Um, it's still kind of a grindy ass mess. Um, and
Yeah, it depends what camp you're in. It's like some people they really enjoy that freedom.
you can
Some
repair your
people,
weapons now, though. So there's that.
right?
It's not as like I wouldn't have implemented it the way they do in the game, but it's there.
Yeah, but yeah, it's the thing is, some people like a little more direction in their game, and then so you got some people that really like just the open endness. Because I've been seeing some videos of the wild stuff people are building in Tears of the Kingdom. Uh, so
Man, how can I put this? My issues with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom isn't the open-endedness. That doesn't bother me. I like both of them equally. My issue is the lack of traditional dungeons. My issue is you still have like weapons you can scavenge that are more powerful than the Master Sword.
yeah, that's
Which
true.
the Master Sword is a some bitch to get in this game, just like in the last game. It's a some bitch to get. It's even harder in this game. In the last game, you had to go to the Lost Woods and pull it out of a stump in front of the Deku tree.
Yeah,
Uh, and that was like, okay, if you had like 3 bars of stamina, you could pull it out, no problem. And then you could power it up later on a little bit, and that was it. But like you have those restrictions, but in order to get the sword now, you have to hunt down a dragon because the Master Sword fell into its head. You gotta ascend to the sky, fall onto the dragon, crawl up its body, go to the head, pull the sword out. I'm like, all of this for a weapon that's only like the 4th most powerful in the game, and it still has that, oh, you can only use it for so long, then it depowers down. Fuck you. No. No, that is trash. Trash. Yeah, there's a lot of there's I have issues with the game. But it is better than Breath of the Wild. You can repair your weapons. It's interesting. Um, I will call Breath of the Wild Link and Tears of the Kingdom Link as the Link who gets fucked up the most. I have never seen a Link in any Legend of Zelda game get fucked up this badly. But man, does he get fucked up in these 2 games. In the first game, he takes an ass whooping so bad that he winds up getting put into a coma for 100 years. I mean, we have never seen Link get his ass kicked that badly. And in this game, he gets his arm fucked up. They got to give him a robot arm to help him. I mean, I'm like, God damn, dude, you can't catch a break, can you? Anyway, yeah, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, it's okay. Konoshi?
Much like in the real world. Rolling.
Hello? Um,
Oh, sorry. My mic was muted for some reason. But I was
yeah.
like, I like looking at the. I think a lot of the new mechanics they had, the fuse mechanic. Of course, I'm not a fan of the weapon durability. I really think they could have implemented that better. I hope they do learn to implement that better. I hope to figure out how to create, more, implement more traditional dungeons in their
Yeah,
new Zelda format.
yeah.
Uh,
My biggest issue, the thing that kind of makes me cringe and makes me not upset, but just bothers me a little bit about these 2 games is that fans who like these games think, well, the old formula was getting stale, and so we don't. But it's like you can have both. You can have a Legend of Zelda game that has the openness of a Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom while also having traditional dungeons.
yeah, yeah, you can.
And like, it's not an either or proposition. It's like saying, hey man, if you make a great pizzeria, you can't have pasta in there too. It's like, but it's an Italian restaurant. You can have pasta at a pizzeria
Yeah,
and pizza at a pastaria. Like they aren't mutually exclusive.
yeah.
Like
I,
you could
I agree.
have a 3rd game modeled after these 2 games where you have more dungeons that are handcrafted, that are big, or maybe hidden that are big, that you basically, like, you go in these dungeons, you get weapons and items and like inventory equipment that is actually unbreakable, that you can
Yeah,
upgrade. And it gives
yeah,
you an incentive to do it because it's unbreakable and it's upgradable. This is
yeah,
not rocket science. It's not like we're asking them to make a perfectly reactive AI here. This is just simple. This is general game design. This is not like, oh no, you're asking us to make. It's not like people are asking people to make a 1-to-1 scale world on a Nintendo home console. We're not asking for that. We just want just some more traditional gameplay tropes.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, things that really, got me interested in the game is just like I said earlier, the open endedness of your abilities, like being able to use recall to create floating platforms to get to areas that maybe weren't either
Oh,
designed
really?
to. Yeah.
You use a recall? Oh man, you really have not really gone deep in that game yet. I mean,
Uh,
there's better ways to get around in that game than recall. Recall's kind of basic, bitch, getting around.
well, that's just one. That's just one example. Of course, you got the Zonite. You got the Zonite tools.
Yep.
You can create basically. The bomb jump
Yeah.
that people were using in the first game. Well,
Yeah.
obviously you can do that now freely with you can attach your an exploding barrel to a shield and do a bomb jump, which is pretty cool. And some of the creative ways I've seen people take down various enemies, or
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. I find it interesting. But I just hope they, in the next iteration of this game, that they figure out how to implement more traditional aspects of Zelda into this new formula.
They have a better final boss battle, a final boss fight than that bullshit they had in Breath of the Wild. So right off the bat, they're already kind of batting a little bit better than they were before.
I
Because
mean,
that final boss fight with Ganon in Breath of the Wild was a joke.
yeah, there's a
Like
lot of
whoever designed that need to be embarrassed.
it's a lot of improvements with the world. It feels a little more lived in the first game. Uh, so there seems to be a lot more to do. There's even side missions that the game doesn't even tell you it's a side mission. You just have
Yeah,
to
but they had
experience
that
it.
in Breath of the Wild too. That's
Yeah,
not really like a new thing per se.
yeah.
It's just like I
Well,
said, Breath of the Wild feels
feels like a
Tears of the
custom.
Kingdom feels like what Breath of the Wild should have been,
Yeah,
but they were busy trying to port all that code over to from the Wii U to the Switch
yeah. That's probably
instead of worrying
that.
about
That was probably another thing that why that game suffered in certain areas is because they were porting it to the Switch, as well as porting it. They were making it for the Switch and the Wii U. So,
uh yeah. I
not
mean,
to mention the physics engine.
I don't think they made it for the Switch. I think they ported it over to the Switch. They made it for the Wii U because
Yeah,
from everyone I've talked to, they said that game ran much better on the Wii U than the Switch,
yeah.
which makes
This,
sense because it was made for the Wii U and they ported it over to the Switch. Because I swear that game crashed on me like 3 or 4 times on my Switch,
yeah,
and I mean a hard crash. I don't mean like it locked up. No, I mean like I had to power off. I had to power cycle the system.
if you decide to, like in the yeah, it's true for the emulator too. Like the SEMU emulation of that game is much better than Yuzu or Ryu Jinx.
Yeah, but
Uh,
isn't the Cemu emulator built off of like Wii emulation, which itself is well GameCube, then Wii, then Wii U?
yeah, that's why it came out so fast because the Wii U is essentially a Super GameCube slash Wii.
Yeah, well,
So
it's a super Wii.
yeah,
The
super.
GameCube
Yeah,
is a the Wii was a Super GameCube, and
yeah,
the Wii U was a Super Wii, and the Switch is a Wii without is a Wii U without the second, except without the horsepower.
Yeah.
None of the horsepower.
Man, that the Switch is such an odd console because it's like, you know, it like kind of agree with what a friend of mine said. It's like the Switch wasn't rushed; it just wasn't finished because it's like it had so many features that were missing that were on the Wii U, and I know people
Yeah.
get real sensitive.
What do you
when
mean
that
were?
happens.
You have features that are still missing that were
Oh
on
yeah, they're still
that were on
missing.
the Wii U. That have never
They're
and
still
will
missing.
never, because the Switch is, let's keep it real, the Switch is near the end of its life cycle. And you're never going to get those features on the Switch. If you're holding out hope for that, keep on holding.
The
I'll tell you
eShop.
what, hold out your hand and hope that those features will come in that hand, and then hold out your other hand and hope something will shit in that hand. I guarantee one will fill up before the other.
The eShop ran better on the Wii U than it does the Switch. I don't know if you've perused the eShop
I
for
have.
the Switch.
It was
It
shit.
is. It's
It is
terrible.
shit. It's
It
shit.
is
It's
awful.
shit. The 3DS, the Wii, the Wii U, all of those had better eShop. Hell, even the DSi had a better eShop than the shit we got right now.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me
Yeah, and people will tear you up if you talk about this sort of thing. Like
don't say that
people
shit.
people will absolutely you know people that we're familiar with they will absolutely just uh, pit
You should
pitch
just
a
accept it because it's Nintendo. It's like,
pitch a
I
fit.
don't have to.
Yeah,
You mean pitch a bitch?
pitch a
They'll
bitch.
pitch a bitch. Yeah, they'll pitch a
Yeah,
bitch.
it's like come on guys, they actually, I mean, they had some decent ideas with the online interface, the Wii U, like being able, they had their own little social media platform where people could,
I
you could find
miss
stuff.
I miss Miiverse. Miiverse was amazing.
Yeah,
It was moderated, but you had way less bullshit going on in Miiverse than you had on the other stuff that you had going on. And then they basically said, "Fuck that. We're gonna just do our own thing," as Nintendo is wont to do. Nintendo's always gonna do their own thing. They don't give a fuck about anything, um, but themselves. But the problem is that, like, the Switch has issues that they solved the last two
on the
gens.
Wii U, yeah. Which I understand that the Switch has more games and whatnot, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
but
to
there's
be
also a lot of
the
shovelware.
yeah, I'm gonna have to be the contrarian and say, there are aspects of the Wii U that are just better than the Switch.
Yeah,
Wii U
like
moderated.
first party games that didn't run like ass on the Wii U.
Yeah, yeah. It's just I mean, don't get me wrong. The Wii had its faults. I understand the marketing argument. I understand,
I'll tell you this
the
much: it was
directions.
backwards compatible,
Yeah, I mean,
and I didn't have
it
to
just had a
rebuy
lot.
shit that I already owned.
It just had a lot more. Maybe hindsight, it was the better console. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'll say. If you like, I would say that the Switch is far more marketable to the casual gamer, which is
Yeah,
cool, you know.
yeah,
But the thing is, like, I am not a casual gamer, so the things that makes it approachable for a casual gamer don't impress me as a core gamer.
yeah,
So, whereas the Wii U was very hardcore if you're a Nintendo gamer, but not mass market, not didn't have mass marketability. So, I mean, look, I'm glad Nintendo made a lot of money with the Switch. My problem is, why isn't that money being reinvested in making the infrastructure better, or to broker better deals so they have a better online library? Because the online library is shit. The infrastructure for the Switch is shit.
yeah.
And you mention this to people who own Switches, and I own a Switch too, so I don't want to hear anyone say,
I own
"Oh,
a look. I own a Switch, Switch Lite, and OLED Switch. All right. So
so he's even more of a hardcore Switch person than I am, because I only
so
bought one of
don't
them
don't
shits. I'm like,
no
I'm not buying another one of this. I bought one,
no.
and that's it. You get one purchase from me. Fuck you. That's just
Look,
me. But
So
I'm telling you right now, the Switch has issues, and it should have been better.
yeah,
And there's shit with the Switch that they have not fixed yet.
yeah,
And yet,
yeah.
I'm still gonna go buy Baiting Kato's collection.
I see
When
that.
it comes, I'm still gonna get it.
That's the thing. It's like, why is your eShop, feel like it's like a website from 2004 on on maybe slightly faster dial-up. Like
Well, the problem for me, that's not my issue with Nintendo's eShop. My problem with Nintendo's eShop is that um its search abilities are shit.
yeah, yeah,
Its searchability is shit. Its categorization is shit. Like they're like if I search for RPGs, they're games in the RPG category. I'm like, this is not an RPG. You can't even make the argument that this is an RPG. It isn't. Um, it's just it's just. But let's get off of that. I don't.
all right.
If I keep on talking about it, I'm just gonna make myself angry.
Yeah, we're gonna really hurt some feelings. All right, for our first topic after a long preamble.
It's tangents. That's what we do on these casts. We go off on tangents
Yeah,
for
yeah.
fun.
So Street Fighter 6 beta came out, and I played it, and I find it's pretty fun. It's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah. You
Um,
get to go to Metro City, and from what I heard, I didn't play the beta, but what I heard from people who tested it is that it basically the single player feels like kind of a Yakuza light.
yeah,
So and you're in Metro City. And we all know Metro City is a shithole. So it's gonna be. Even after Mike Hager and Cody and them cleaned it up, it's still a shithole. So
yeah, yeah,
look, man, you got to do what you got to do.
yeah. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's kind of funny because I was hard on the game when I first saw it.
I know, man. You were
I
like,
was
I
just
can't believe they did this shit. These motherfuckers, they should have been like Arc System work. I was like, come on, man, it could be good. You're like, no. You're like a dude kicking somebody's ass. I'm like, oh man, he's had enough. No, I'm not finished yet. He can keep on stopping. I'm like, no, man, it's over. He's dead. I'm not finished. Give me that knife. I'm like, come on, man. Just come on. It could be good.
So for starters, it feels much faster than Street Fighter 5,
Good.
and it's which shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's kind of a low bar, but it's good.
um, and I really maybe it's because I've been playing Street Fighter for a while, but it's just really just easy to pick up and play. Um, Modern controls are atrocious. I don't understand who's using those because those modern controls feel awkward as hell. Uh, I don't get it, but if that's how you're gonna play the game, that's how you're gonna play the game. I'll just avoid the heck out of those. Out of modern controls. The character I mainly used was Chun Li, and I also tried out Kimberly.
All right.
And
So you're spamming the spinning bird kick and her multi kick, right?
yeah,
It's spamming that. Get them in the corner and spam that shit. Which is, I mean, if you're a dude, what a way to go! It's like, oh man, I can see her panties. Oh, it was worth it. She kicked you a million times. It was worth it. I saw it. I saw it.
and then let's see. Kimberly's interesting because she's kind of sort of like Ibuki. Ibuki, who came from the Jet Set Radio dimension, but cause a lot of
You
her,
mean the chick with the headphones?
yeah, she with like the braids and stuff. Like cause she's like spray paint and party tricks for her her moves.
Her attacks and specials and shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she's an interesting character. I didn't use. Those were the only two characters I used. I used Ken for a little bit.
But he's Ken is Ken.
Yeah, I mean, if you play Ken, you'll be.
You know what you're gonna get. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the character that I'm looking forward to playing as if I get this game because they've revamped his moveset. Old Man Guile. old Man Guile looks like he's got some new tricks. He's too old for this shit. He's like, look, y'all young whippersnappers think you badass. Let me show you how we really do it out here, okay? Yeah. Now, you young kid, you think you're badass with all your smooth moves and your music. Guess what, motherfucker? I'm gonna kick everybody's ass. And my theme song still rocks.
Yeah.
Now let me put my stopwatch on to let me know how long it's gonna take to kick your ass. 1 minute. That's all you get. 1 minute.
I also can't wait to play as Blanca because that's a character I've starting develop interest for. So
Blanca.
Yeah.
It seems like you like a lot of the rapid button press characters. Are you also into E Honda?
No, it just never was all that interesting.
He's too fat for you. Edmund Honda. That's his name. Edmund. He's half English, half Japanese. Yeah, that's why they call him E Honda, but his real name is Edmund Honda, which is kind of, I don't know why the fuck I know all this Street Fighter. Especially Street Fighter 2 lore. I'm like, why do I know this? But yeah, there you go. E Honda. His big thing is he wants to show the glory of sumo wrestling.
Yeah.
So if you beat the game as him, he's always like, yes, sumo wrestling is badass.
Yeah.
Be like me. It's like, nah, I'll be good. But what else?
And let's see what else about. Oh yeah. Apparently there's somebody that was crying about the drive system, which is an easy thing to block or easy thing to deal with. If you know what you're dealing with, it's not an all powerful move. But other than that, I think from what I've been hearing, it seems like people like the game. There were a couple nights where I was tempted to stay up all night, but couldn't because I had to get up the next morning. But other than that, yeah, it's pretty good. I pre-ordered the game.
Really? Is it a $70 game?
No, it's actually a $60 game.
Oh Lord, I can't believe. Can you believe this shit? We're actually asking if games are $70 because everyone wants to overcharge for shit these days instead of just, charge a decent amount of money.
Yeah. And while on the topic of fighting games, Mortal Kombat 1 was announced. Now, I have a question for you. So, do you think Mortal Kombat's a good fighting game, or do you think people just like it because it's super edgy?
I think people like it because of the fatalities and the surprise characters. It's not really what I would call a good fighting game.
I don't think it's good. I played 9. I have 9, and I've tried it out a few times. I don't like the way the button combo system is.
Because style of combo.
The style of combo I think is really dumb and annoying. But if that's what you like, that's what you like. I'm not gonna stop you. But give me Z motion. Give me quarter circle, half circle, full circle.
Yeah. And don't give me a fucking run button and a block button. Back to block, goddammit. Back to block. Jesus.
This
Stop
is like
fucking that shit up.
I don't remember. Was 9 like that too? They had the
Yeah,
block. Oh jeez.
yeah. 9 has a block button and 9 has a run button. Mortal Kombat's been like that for years, and it's
Ugh.
fucking stupid.
Yeah, I, and it's slow, and sluggish. I don't like how slow it feels.
Yeah.
It probably hasn't always been that way, but at least 9, it's just like, this isn't fun. Like, people might say find this fun, but this isn't fun to me. Let me go back to, my anime Arc System Capcom fighting games, and even SNK. And look, I'm not good at King of Fighter. I'll probably win a couple matches out of like 50 because I'm not.
Let me guess.
That's
You like it because of My Shiranui. We all know why everyone. It's My Shiranui. My Shiranui is love. My Shiranui is life.
I mean,
Actually,
I
it's
mean,
just her bust. Really, to be honest with you. Uh, no, man. I get where you're coming from. Like I said, the reason people like Street Fighter is because it is mostly just because. I mean, Mortal Kombat is because of the shit. Forgot the name. They like it because the crossover characters, like having Predator and Alien and Freddy and all those characters in Mortal Kombat makes it interesting. Like you know what would really get me into Mortal Kombat is if they did Mortal Kombat cross Killer Instinct,
yeah,
and it would fit because they have a very similar art style. Except
yeah,
I think Killer Instinct has a better combat system, but um, and they basically have a lot of shit in common with each other, and that'd be cool. Like I would watch that. I'd play that and be like, oh, this is awesome.
yeah. If
You
they did
know?
a Mortal Kombat cross Killer Instinct with the Killer Instinct combo system, I'd be like, yeah, this is.
Yeah,
I would play
yeah,
that.
yeah. I would play that too. I don't want it to be like Mortal Kombat. I want Killer Instinct because Killer Instinct makes sense, and
Yeah.
back is block. And back is block, and there's no run button or block button. You just press the back to block, or down and low to block low attacks, back to block mid and uppers.
So yeah,
And so
yeah.
don't, yeah.
I guess the exciting thing is, I don't really care. This isn't gonna make me buy the game, but you know, it was
The
leaked
reboot.
that yeah, the it was leaked that Omni Man and Homelander might be guest characters in the game, but
I mean, I
it
guess that's
seems
cool.
obvious. Yeah, I mean that's cool, but your gameplay still sucks. So I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, let me put it this way. I would be 100% with you, but then I saw something cool, and I saw the Fire God Liu Kang's finisher, like the trailer for it, where he goes up to Shang Tsung and he's like, I offered you peace, you chose war, and he basically creates the two dragons that hold him in half, and he slam dunks the guy's head through his body into the ground. And I'm like, Liu Kang's been wanting to do that for years now. He's like, you finally gave me an excuse to fuck you up, Shang Tsung. I hate you. I hate your guts. If I could go back in time and kill your parents, I would. But I'm a good guy. I can't do that. But not right now. You just gave me all the excuses I needed to fuck you up. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Shang Tsung. So yeah. So I will probably watch people play this game because I know the story mode's probably going to be awesome. But yeah, that's where I'm going to be like, oh, this might be kind of cool. But as far as me getting this game and wanting to play it,
Yeah, yeah. They should have called it Mortal Kombat Zero since it ended at 11, and the whole 24-hour cycle where the clock hits strike zero. When they should have just called it Mortal Kombat Zero. But whatever, do what you want.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's my Yeah, that's my take on it. I hope the game is good for people who are into Mortal Kombat. I hope they enjoy it because, I don't, only when something is like aggressively anti-consumer am I'm like, I hope this fails.
Yeah. Yeah.
When it's aggressively anti-consumer, then I'm like, I hope this fails. When it's just, something that I might not necessarily like, but other people might like it, I'm like, well, fine, then let them have it. So for me, I'm just like, look, like what you like, play what you play. I like some of the concepts of it. It's going to be interesting to see the revamps of characters. Like apparently from the little teaser they did for the trailer of Mortal Kombat 1, like apparently Liu Kang managed to prevent the murder of Scorpion's family by the Lin Kuei under Sub-Zero, but it was all instigated by Quan Chi. So apparently those two aren't mortal enemies anymore, which I'm like, good. Y'all shouldn't be mortal enemies. Y'all should team up and kill Quan Chi. So they can all do their own things. The mythos of Mortal Kombat to me is more interesting than the gameplay. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. But I'll leave it there.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. So Asus is in trouble.
What happened this time?
So they've been trying to rectify the problem, but so the new AMD CPUs and their motherboards have been blowing up.
Melting,
Yep, and
burning out the the core.
and they've been trying to fight it by creating a new BIOS updates, and they had a beta
Is that an
BIOS.
AMD problem, not an Asus problem, though?
It's it it's both of their problems technically, because AMD of course has to work with Asus to rectify the problem.
All right.
But the thing is, so they came out with a beta BIOS um, update and said use it at your own risk. If you use this will void your warranty. And then that didn't make people too happy, because it's just like, well, your motherboards were already killing our CPUs anyway. Or
Yeah, but wasn't that AMD because it was overclocking without properly timing the energy being drawn, which is burning out the stuff. Am I correct
that
as to what was causing that?
probably. I know I haven't heard too much about the other motherboards. I've been mainly hearing about Asus because they're not willing to they weren't willing to they essentially were like, yeah, if anything happens, if you download this BIOS update and update your motherboard, we're not gonna help you. Essentially, is what was said, and then it created a huge problem where some YouTubers were like, we're done. We're not gonna take advertisement money from Asus. At least a couple that I know, JST Sense and Gamers Nexus. And then they came out, and said, so that's just how it usually works. Pertaining to how we handle our beta BIOS updates, and but at the same time, it's just kind of like, well, you probably should have. You knew this was a problem. You probably should have said something. You probably should have made some kind of offer with your customer base before you put that out there, because obviously there was some sort of breakdown in communication.
Yeah, there was a breakdown, all right.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what I'm about to say. I think, like I said, I think it's an issue between AMD and Asus. I don't think this is solely a AMD Asus AMD issue, because let's not forget NVIDIA cards were doing the same thing a few months ago as well.
Yeah.
They launched those new cards, those high-end cards that were burning out people's shit. So this isn't like oh my god, how could they do this? It's like, it's been happening for a while now, and calm down, calm the fuck down. With that being said, I think this is a case of it's a slow news week and people just want shit to talk about. Because Asus has been making computer cases and putting together laptops and like cases and motherboard like for years, and we haven't had these issues.
Yeah.
It's not until these new cards came out, these new CPUs and GPUs came out that are drawing more power than the old gen shit that Asus has probably been using to put this shit together. Can't handle the power draw. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, x86 is just old, very old architecture at this point, and they've hit a wall when it comes to thermals, and it's gonna be interesting to see the next big leap when it comes to CPUs and especially GPUs. I mean, you saw the 4080 and 4090 and how big those heat sinks are.
Yeah.
Even to a certain degree, the 7900s, those are relatively manageable coolers, but it's just crazy what's going on with this stuff. But
all I'm gonna say is this: I think that I think people are way too uptight about these types of things at this point, and I think people need to ultimately take a step back, calm down. It's not that serious. People are like, "Oh my god, this is the worst thing ever." No. All these companies are going to be fine. Okay, Asus is going to be fine. Intel's going to be fine. AMD's going to be fine. They'll survive because they got more money than you and I will ever see in our lifetimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, next topic. Jim Ryan was interviewed by Famitsu. It's a Japanese magazine publication. One of the things that were brought up was the fact of PlayStation games on PC, and I guess there was a survey that was taken, and he found that most gamers find that PlayStation games coming out 2 to 3 years later after their PlayStation release on PC is acceptable. I guess which makes sense if you buy a PlayStation for PlayStation games.
That's funny to me.
Why is that?
It's funny to me because the reason it's funny to me is because like how can I put this nicely? It's funny to me because like do you honestly do you think PlayStation gives a fuck about what PlayStation gamers care about whether or not a game comes to PC or not? If Sony says this game did not make a lot of money and we need to make money off of it, they're going to bring it to PC regardless of what the Sony. Because statistically, we know that even though Sony gamers are like, yeah, we love our first parties, y'all ain't buying PlayStations for first party games.
No.
Most first party games on Sony sell. They're lucky if they crack 5 million.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad, but compared to what third parties are selling on PlayStation, it's trash. It's like, well, we did a survey of PlayStation gamers. Fuck you. Sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
It doesn't entirely make sense. Just for the fact that the top 10 games on that sell on PlayStation are not first party exclusives. They're all third party games. And that's why they were freaking out about Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is out of the top 10 games that sell the best on PS3 or PS PlayStation. So, you know, it's
They're like, oh my god, this might come to PC so that Sony can make money off of something they put money into? What? And look, I'm not a Sony fan, but even I realize that they're going to do what they need to do to make money.
the
You
thing
know,
is, I think most people get PlayStation simply because of the fact that that's where all their friends are playing.
and they get to play, a third party game. Yeah, I mean, people get PlayStation for third party and a few of the second parties. Okay, that's why they play. That's why they play those games. Now, am I against that? I mean, I don't really give a shit because I got a PC for third party stuff, so I kind of understand. I totally understand the need to play your games. You want to play your games the way you want to play them. I understand that, but don't give me this BS that, oh man, if first party games go over here, that's going to be so terrible. It's like, go away, shut up,
Yeah.
stop. You know, Jim. Let me put this: so Jim Ryan is going to do what he needs to do to make money because they paid him to make money.
Yeah.
If you can't deal with that, I don't know. You don't understand how business works.
Yeah.
But continue, sir. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, sorry. Well, yeah. Yeah. Most people don't buy, PlayStations for first party exclusives. Like, there'll be the occasional first party game that does pretty well. Obviously, The Last of Us, God of War,
Spider Man.
Spider Man. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's Spider Man. Wolverine will do well because again, it's Wolverine.
It's a Marvel product and it's an M-rated Marvel product and it's gonna sell well.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, people ain't going out of their way for Sony first party games. All right.
Like Tears of the Kingdom will eat Horizons as the new Horizon games, breakfast, lunch, and
Yeah.
dinner, and that game's been out for a couple of years. So
The next Legend of Zelda game is gonna eat their stuff. Elden Ring ate their lunch.
Yeah.
Remember when the new Horizon, like first it was the first Horizon came out, it was like, oh, this is nice, but Breath of the Wild does this so much better. And then they came with the second one, like, we're not going to release this. It's going to be nowhere near the next Legend of Zelda. Elden Ring comes out. Elden Ring's like, oh yeah, it's basically From Software taking on Breath of the Wild. It's like, God damn, they can't catch a break.
Can't win, man.
You can't win. You can't win. So here's all I'm gonna say. The people who are like complaining about how this isn't what I wanted, and making excuses because people love to make excuses for things they don't like. Ultimately, the fact of the matter is this: these companies are going to do whatever the hell they want to do. All right. They're going to do what they need to do in order to make money because they exist to make money. They're not here to make you feel happy. They're not here to make you feel good. They're not here to make you feel like you're the king of the world. They're here to make money. Everything they do is in service of them turning a profit. So if a game comes out for the PlayStation in the next few years and they spent let's say $200 million to make that game, and it only sells like 1.52 million units, okay, and they were expecting it to sell like 6-7 million, don't be surprised when the next year they port that shit over to PC.
Yeah.
And you Sony fanboys, oh, you shouldn't have done that. Shut the fuck up. Because they're going to do what they want to do because they're trying to make money. And that's just the way that's just the way it is. If you can't deal with it, then go do something else.
Yeah.
I don't know why people don't understand that, but whatever. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the main topic because I just had some hilarious scenarios pop up in my head when this is brought up.
What,
Um,
GTA 6 or Jim
G-
Ryan?
GTA 6.
GTA 6, yes.
Unless there's something you want to talk about, unless there's something else you wanted to say about Jim Ryan interview.
No, I'm a GTA fan. Not
Okay.
so much 5 or 4, but or 3. I don't really like GTA 3 that much. I think it's overrated. But
Yeah.
go ahead, sir.
Well, GTA 6 cannot fail. It cannot. It
No.
cannot. It cannot. They can't afford for this game to fail. 2K and Rockstar have been on some shit for the past couple of years. Uh, and they apparently they are pouring a whopping $1 billion into this game.
Yep. So you know what
What?
that means.
Here's a couple of things. Here, one thing
Uh-huh.
is, if this game does fail, it'll
It's
it,
gonna
it'll
tank. It's gonna tank 2K.
it's gonna take 2K and it's gonna send probably shockwaves throughout the industry. Um, it's going. It could possibly, um, in my bizarro scenario, bizarro world, make the North American 1983 console crash look like a picnic, a picnic at Disney World. Yeah, because it's gonna, because if that game fails, it's gonna affect a lot of people. Now, in reality, GTA's name is huge. It's a huge name, wildly popular franchise. Um, if if the game comes out to be a buggy piece of shit, in reality, it'll sell like 50 million copies because the GTA crack is real, especially if it has an online component.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, whatever the GTA Online is gonna for GTA 6, it's going to be huge. Because Rockst 2K has made so much fucking money with microtransactions off of GTA 5. The reason they could afford all these other games that have been bombing bomb after bomb after bomb at 2K is because GTA Online, those stupid sons of bitches keep on spending real world money for fake money they can spend in their fake game.
Yeah, living out their fantasy as a career criminal. But
I mean, yeah, I mean, unless you're on a role playing server, which is, you got people being the police, you got people being just normal shopkeepers, you got people just living, just not even doing crimes, just living their best life. So, my
true.
point behind all this is to simply say this: GTA 6. I have a prediction. I might be wrong. The weakest part of this game will probably be the single player. Um, you're probably going to have the same shit that happened with 5 happen here, where content that should have been going into the single player as expansions or DLC is going to be just kind of propped over and sent over to the online.
Yeah, this is gonna be pushed as a live service games,
Yeah,
and
that's all it's going
I
to be.
I wouldn't be surprised if NFTs reared their ugly, beady, ugly head. Um, except that they won't call it NFTs. It'll have a different name. They'll have a different name for it because NFT is a poison pill. Second you say NFT,
Mm,
there's NFTs in your product. It's over.
I don't see NFTs.
You know, see
I don't
NFT.
see NFTs. No, but you're gonna have lots and lots of microtransactions. Like because I don't know if you've played GTA Online. Let me explain how insidious microtransactions are in this game. Okay, the economy is grindy as fuck. If you think living in the real world is expensive, it's even more so in GTA Online. Okay, in order for you to store your car, you need a garage. The only way you can have a garage is if you live someplace. Rent in this game is really expensive. So I think an hour in game is like a week, and you pay rent weekly.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's the thing: everything's hyper inflated. So what you might think might be 500 or a grand a week turns out to be like 5,000, 10,000 a week. So you are forced to do crimes in order to afford your lifestyle, And if you lose enough money, you can't afford your rent, so you lose your spot, which means anyone can steal your car. And because the game is filled with criminals and mayhem, anyone will steal your car. It's a never-ending cycle. So hence, people say, yeah, I'll spend $50 on a $3 million shark card in order to top up my bank account so I can, not have my shit get stolen and have whatever. The game, and that's just for the car. If you want to get good weapons, like in the single player, you can buy a handgun for like $75. Like a shitty, standard, everyday handgun. Buy a handgun in GTA Online is like $500, $1,000. And here's the thing. If you try to rob someone, they're going to have better shit than you. So you need money in order to get good shit so that you can defend yourself. Like it's a never-ending cycle of keeping up with the Joneses, have and have-nots, and everything is hyper-inflated.
I bet it's an absolute mess on PC. I bet people are giving themselves $850 gazillion.
Oh, well, here's the thing. On PC, they have this is why I don't really play GTA Online. I play the single player where I use coding in order to bring the shit that's in the multiplayer on the online into the single player, which makes it enjoyable for me. If you try to play the game, if you use cheat, you will get banned. They will ban your ass. Now, I've never cheated in that game. But there was a moment where people would go around using a scripting cheat engine to just drop tons of money on people. And even if you were just standing around and picked up some of the money, you got banned too. My point behind all this is to say this, all right? To be honest with you, I liked the first two GTA games. I like GTA Chinatown Wars, even though it's not what I really wanted it to be. I like GTA. I like the two Stories games, Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories. Hell, my two favorite 3D GTAs of all time is GTA Vice City and San Andreas. I still think San Andreas is like one of the most ambitious GTA games Rockstar ever made.
Yeah, they never refined that. They never refined those like RPG like mechanics they had in San Andreas.
They kind of had it a little bit in GTA 5, but it was stripped down to practically nothing. But my point is this. GTA 6 is going to sell amazing. It's the single player will probably be overhyped to all hell. And once people play it, they'll realize it's okay. Because Rockstar suffers from, we want to tell our narrative, you can't craft your own. But not realizing that most of the time their narratives suck. Like the story for GTA 5 was trash. The story for Red Dead 2 was trash. The story for GTA 4 was trash. And they just don't get it. They're like, well, it's got to be like this. No, you're kind of trash, bro.
Yeah.
But whatever. Yeah, GTA 6 is it's gonna sell gangbusters though.
Yeah.
And anyone tells you any differently is lying to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, part of me just kind of. Part of me just kind of wants the industry to finally learn its lessons, but a bigger, more sensible part of me realizes this game's gonna sell like 100 million copies within the first couple months. So, yeah, it's gonna make its money back, even if it's a broken, buggy piece of shit, which is
maybe in the first year. Well, I mean, look, man, I don't think it's going to be a broken, buggy piece of shit. I mean, as long as they don't give any of the development to this to Grove Street Games, who did the remix, they're going to be good. Yeah. They spend their money on their own shit, but not their legacy shit. They give that to scrub-ass studios who couldn't find their ass with a map and Google Maps and a paper map.
This isn't the only game they got. Like, GTA 5 has probably been paying their light.
Yeah,
their
it's been the breadwinner.
Yeah,
that and those 2K games with all those microtransactions. So I can't look, man. I can't knock their hustle. Strauss Zelnick is a piece of shit, but I can't knock the motherfucker's hustle.
Yeah, Yep. All right. You got any free topics?
Um, Let me check. Let me look up my Discord. Um, and I'll save that for my cast tomorrow. I will not say anything else. Unless you have something, a free topic you want to bring up. It's like, hey, we need to talk about this. No one said anything about this. It's important.
No. Um. No, I don't have a free. I don't have a free topic.
All
I
right.
guess we can just close out the show for tonight then.
All right.
All right. All right. You ever sign off, pimp out what you've been doing or what you're gonna do? I'll call it.
Yeah. Sure. This was the Red Fox, owner proprietor BS Busters. I was supposed to be streaming Thursday, but you may not have known this. I'm having some technical difficulties with my gaming PC, which is my main PC I use for capturing footage and stuff like that. This is my streaming PC I'm using, so I'm gonna have to reallocate some stuff. So I'll try and upload, capture some video footage, and upload it next week. I mean, this Thursday. Um, yeah, and we will also be having the BS Busters podcast tomorrow, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to typically 8:39 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we'll be covering a variety of topics. It's been a while, so we've got quite a few things to cover, mostly PC gaming, all that type of fun shit. Yeah, that's it.
All right. And this is Kinoshi Abominito. Closing out another episode of Project Console. Have a good week. Have a good weekend, and have a good life. See you guys next week.